What is up, Buttercups? Welcome to my channel where I encourage others in Jesus. I was outside today admiring God's beautiful canvas outside when I saw a tiny ant carrying something on its back going on a journey. So stay tuned to learn what lesson I learned from the Bible with this ant carrying something on its back. I was outside earlier and I saw an ant carrying something on its back, taking it back to its anthill. And it reminded me of a story that I heard when I was a little girl. So I wanted to share this story with you. Once upon a time, there lived an ant and a grasshopper in a grassy meadow by the river. It was during the hot summer season when the ant was toiling hard by collecting wheat grains from the farmer's field. The ant would work hard all day long, from dawn to dusk, collecting the heavy grain, well balanced on her back. She would then put the wheat grain in her larder carefully and rush back to the field to collect another grain. She would scurry back and forth between the field and her larder, often repeating this task the whole day. On the other hand, there was a grasshopper in the grassy meadow who would spend all his time singing and dancing. He would often scorn at the ant for toiling so hard the entire day in collecting the grains. He would frequently call the ant to join him in singing and dancing and making merry at the present time. However, the ant would ignore him and continue with her work. This would make the grasshopper laugh even louder, and he would often ridicule the ant, stating that they have enough food to sustain themselves in the summer. Hearing this, the ant said that she was saving some food for the cold season and recommended the grasshopper to follow the same. The grasshopper didn't pay heed to her words and continued singing and dancing merrily. Soon summer faded to autumn, and autumn to winter. It became freezing cold outside due to snowfall, and the sun was barely visible, and the nights were long and dark. The grasshopper had lost his interest in singing and making merry. He was cold and hungry and had no place to take shelter from the snow outside. He wondered how to save himself from this tough situation. Suddenly, he remembered about the ant and visited her for some food and shelter. Off he went to her place and knocked at her door for help. When she opened the door, the grasshopper offered to sing for her in return for some food and shelter. To this the ant replied that she had toiled hard in the summer to save enough food for the winter, and the grasshopper had mocked her then. She gently asked him to sing somewhere else and earn his food and shelter. It is then that the grasshopper realized that he should have saved up enough for the winter instead of wasting his time being lazy during the summer and singing and dancing around. The next summer, you bet your bottom dollar, the grasshopper was under the sun preparing for the winter. The end. So how does this story relate to the Bible? Well, it reminds me of a Bible verse in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer, or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in the summer and gathers its food at harvest. The ant has no ruler over it, no king, no master, no teacher over it, telling it that it has to store for the winter. It is motivated intrinsically to get things done so that they will be prepared when the winter comes. They will still have food to eat. And even though the ant is mocked and chastised and ridiculed by someone of the world for doing and preparing, it still went on and continued to prepare for the winter. Don't be like the grasshopper. Don't be unprepared when the event occurs. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail in a situation. Think about yourself when you went to school. There were so many drills that we had to practice in order to prepare for an event. There were fire drills, earthquake drills. Now they even have active shooter drills. And that is to calm down the chaos when it happens. Everyone knows their role. Everyone knows their position. Everyone knows what to do. And in case of an emergency and in case of an event, people are prepared. So that is why it is important. What other things can we take away from this lesson? We prepare things in order to make our lives easier. When the event happens, we're not scattered trying to come up with a plan, but rather we can be put into action. It is always key to prepare for when the event occurs. It reminds me of another Bible verse. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known at what time of the night the thief was coming, he would have kept watch and would not have left his house to be broken into. So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him. So what's your plan when the thief comes in the night? Do you have surveillance cameras up, security cameras ready to catch someone? Do you have a weapon of choice where you can prevent the person from coming in? Do you have going to call the police? Are you going to go run and hide? Or do you even have a plan right now if a thief comes in the middle of the night? Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So always keep that in mind. Being prepared before the event happens lets you go into action more efficiently and effectively. So if you were impacted by this message today and you learned a lesson from the ant, comment below and let me know. And consider sharing this message with someone who could also be impacted. I would really like to grow my channel to encourage everyone. As always, I appreciate you so much for watching this video today. And God's will and the creek don't rise. I will see you in the next video. Mwah.